Welcome to another edition of Mainstreet TV. I'm Stephanie Aylworth, Mainstreet Manager, and in just a minute we're going to be presenting one of our facade grant checks for $3,000 to one of our downtown business owners who has completed a facade renovation on his historic building. I'd like to welcome everyone to Mainstreet today. I'm Stephanie Aylworth, CITI Douglasville's Mainstreet Manager. We're here with Philip Johns of the Downtown Development Authority to present him with his facade grant check. At this time, I would like to introduce our new mayor, Mayor Persons, and he'll be giving us a few words.
Thank you, Stephanie. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to Mr. Johns for Philip.
Yes.
Philip, okay. Thank you for what you've done with your building here. This is part of a program that the City of Douglasville has in conjunction with the Mainstreet Douglasville Design Committee and the Downtown Development Authority. What you can do is there's a grant program that's available for facade development and improvements to the buildings in downtown Douglasville. And you can get matching grant money for up to $3,000 for facade development. And Philip here has done some wonderful things with this building, as well as two of the adjoining suites that he's done some improvements and work to. Not only the outside, but if you go inside and look at the interior, the restoration, saving a lot of the old character and structure within the buildings, and has done a marvelous job. And for that today, we're going to award Philip with this $3,000 matching grant check for the improvements that he's made. And I just want to let you know, myself and the City of Douglasville, we thank you for what you're doing to help improve our downtown development area. And to me, it's a classic example of what can be done with business and government working together with a collaborative effort and a partnership to improve our downtown area. We've got more exciting things that are going to happen. There's some things going on down the street that I'm going to hold off on, but we have some other people that are doing things in addition to what Mr. Johns is doing to really improve our downtown area. We're excited about it. We've got a lot of great things going on, and I want to thank our Main Street people. Stephanie, you're doing a great job, and the people that are helping improve Douglasville to help make it a better place to live. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, and we'll be back with more Mainstreet TV.
First of all, I'd like to say this is a classic example of what a community working together can accomplish. We have business owners here, we have government working together, and we have people that are participating in working with improving the downtown area. It's community working together to improve the community that we live in. And I want to congratulate and thank each and every one of you for your efforts, your volunteering, and spending your money and taking your time to help improve our downtown area. It truly is an asset to our community. I want to thank our staff, and we really appreciate what you're doing, and you're making a valuable contribution to our great city. And I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Welcome to another edition of Mainstreet TV. I'm your host, Stephanie Aylworth, and today I am joined by Jack Tysor. Hi, Jack. How are you?
Morning.
Jack Tysor is the Downtown Development Authority Chairman, and we're talking today a little bit about our facade grant program. The Mainstreet program in Douglasville was initiated in 2001, and that is when Mainstreet was originally designated as a Main Street city. The Mainstreet program is a national program, but the Mainstreet program works directly with the Downtown Development Authority Board, and there's several different things they do, but today we're specifically going to talk about the facade grant program and how the facade grant program works and some of the benefits the facade grant has had in the community. Recently we had the opportunity to award a facade grant, and that was awarded to Mr. Johns. Do you want to talk a little bit about that, Mr. Tysor?
We went out to Mr. John's building on Main Street
one of the older buildings in our downtown area and gave him a $3,000 matching grant, meaning that the Downtown Development Authority gave him $3,000. He matched it with $3,000 to do the exterior of his building and bring it up to match many of the other buildings that we had worked with in the downtown area.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of the Facade Grant Program, is that it's a partnership between a private property owner and then the DDA, which is a public entity, the authority, and the authority will match up to $3,000 of the facade grant money invested. Typically, with most of the facades that we see renovated here, they almost always get the matching $3,000 because most of the facades put in at least $15,000 to $20,000 of renovation. And I know with Mr. John's facade, he has spent a significant amount of money on his facade because he had a very large space, and he actually did 3 individual facades and was able to qualify for the grant that way. And his facades turned out very nice.
I think they did, and what he really did is he owned a group of buildings that had been over time brought into one facility for an office type application, and he's now moving back and making 3 individual buildings there so that we have more types of people working downtown and different types of businesses.
Yeah, and by breaking up the facades, it's just like you said, we're able to create 3 separate spaces where he can have 3 separate businesses, which creates more jobs, and it's a better utilization of the space than just having a big open space that you're trying to put something in there that doesn't fit. So the purpose of the facade grant is to help the merchants renovate and rehabilitate the historic buildings and the historic spaces. And one of the criteria for them to qualify for that is that they have to have a design that is compatible with the Historic Preservation Commission's codes and standards for the downtown. And I think with Mr. Johns' building, we can really see that he really spent some time trying to bring the building back to not so much an original state, but a state that was very compliant with the historic preservation standards.
I think we need to note also that he gave his daughter credit for the design work on his building, which brings it into moving it from one generation to another generation in historic preservation.
Exactly, and that's very important that you brought that up. That's something that we try to promote as a Main Street program, as well as the Downtown Development Authority, is the generational component of historic buildings and how those are passed on and how they create legacy and history in our historic downtown.
I agree.
To be able to participate in the Facade Grant Program, you do have to be a business that's located in the Downtown Development Authority service area.
That's correct.
And we have recently expanded the service area, so we have a new map that is available, and you can get that through the Main Street office, my office, by emailing me or off of the city website. And it's significantly larger now than what it was in the past. We've pretty much expanded from 174 businesses to 350 businesses. So it's quite a big expansion for us, but we're excited to be able to offer this initiative.
I think we need to note that originally 10 years ago when we started the Main Street program, that the only area that was included was actually Broad Street or Main Street and Church Street and all the buildings in the old downtown area. Now we go out to Fairburn Road and beyond with our Main Street program, which brings in lots of people, and we look forward as a development authority to working with these people in other parts of our city.
Yeah, and it does give a lot of opportunity for revitalization of these areas, which ultimately we want to create rehab spaces where we can bring in new businesses and create jobs.
Absolutely.
And that's another function of the facade grant, is to create a very attractive space so that people do want to move their businesses, people do want to come downtown and shop. And walk and feel like they have a connection with the buildings, and give it a unique atmosphere for the downtown.
I think when people come downtown, they need to, if they walk down Main Street, and they'll see that at least half the buildings as we move down Main Street have been granted facade grants as people renovated or as we had new tenants or new building owners. And when you walk down Main Street, most of the facades have been redone, and the City Development Authority has participated in that renovation by the grant program.
Yeah, and Mr. Tysor, what is the total amount of monies that have been invested in the facade grant program in the last 10 years?
I think that, if I'm correct, about $55,000 has been, and I think we need to note that a lot of this money comes through fundraisers that the Downtown Development Authority has participated in with the cultural art people and the Downtown Historic District. And it takes a lot of hard work on the part of all the merchants who are participating in our program to come up with the funds to fund the 2 grant programs that we do each year.
Yeah, but they're very valuable, like you said. You can see the improvements that the different facade grants have made, specifically on Broad Street. And we have branched out outside of Broad Street as well, but I think Broad Street is the best example of the impact of the facade grant program. And that's a lot of investment money. $55,000 is a lot of investment money to see improvements for the downtown. And like Mr. Tysor said, the facade grant program does rely on contributions from the community, as well as fundraising from the Downtown Development Authority and the Mainstreet program. Yes. And the Friends of Mainstreet program also helps fund that. So it's a very valuable program that we have, and we'd love to see the program grow, where we can bring in more funds to maybe offer a higher end facade grant. We have been able to give higher end facade grants under special circumstances in the past. I know that when the pub had a fire, we were able to help them out with an emergency facade grant.
That's correct.
And that was very valuable.
I think we need to take the opportunity when we're talking about facade grants and we're talking about the Main Street program and the Downtown Development Authority to say to all of the merchants in our old existing downtown area and in our new developed area that we need you to be a part of the Downtown Development Authority by participating in the activities, so that we are able to help and work with more of the merchants.
Absolutely. Currently, we don't have the actual numbers from 2001, but we report monthly to the state and annually to the state, and I was able to pull up the numbers from 2004 to 2011. The private investment in our historic downtown was $8,965,000 in private investment in rehabilitation of downtown spaces. And then the public investment from 2004 to 2011 was $3,570,000. So you can see that we take the rehabilitation and the revitalization of downtown very seriously, both the property owners as well as the local government, and we really strive to make it look as best as we possibly can.
I think you're correct, but I think when we are talking about these numbers, that we need to remember that we've just expanded our development authority area, and these figures only are pertaining to the original Downtown Development Authority.
Exactly.
And if we included the whole area, we'd have many more.
We'd have a lot more, yeah. Yeah, very, very good point. So you can see how our facade grant program is very vital to our the revitalization efforts of our historic downtown, as well as the new DDA service area. If you're interested in getting more information about the facade grant program, feel free to contact me, the Main Street manager, via the city website or my email address. Thank you, Mr. Tysor, for joining me today. This has been really educational, and you can definitely see the value of the facade grant program in the historic downtown.
Thank you for your hard work in the city.
Thank you. Join us next time for another edition of Mainstreet TV.
They're on boulders. It's for the whole building. Then over the years, you can see where they've been cutting through the walls. You have the brick walls over here, and at the top you have some graffiti, but what it actually says is ND and JT Duncan, because this was originally Duncan General Store in 1900. And one of the Duncan brothers was the master brick mason, so there's all kind of brickwork in here that we uncovered when we took the walls down, and we're very pleased to keep that in the building as much as we can. We have on the floors, you can see now they look pretty bad because they've been covered up for probably 100 years. And what we'll do is we'll sand this down. This is heart of pine. And when we finish, it's going to be amazing. It takes a lot of work and a lot of time to do it, but I think right now it's a labor of love. It was just incredible. And trying to piece together what it was and when it was, it's been kind of fun. We've found that it's been a laundromat, a florist, a mortuary, and worst of all, it's been 2 lawyers' offices. So we do think we have ghosts here, and there's some ghost stories going around, but they're friendly ghosts, and they invite us back all the time.
You come in and you look at a building like this, and you look at the ceiling. I believe that's tongue and groove up here at the top.
That's a big door tongue and groove.
How often do you see that anymore?
We had no idea it was up there because it had a drop ceiling when we walked in, no idea what was above it. And when we started tearing things out, we said, good grief, this is a gold mine up here.
Yeah, but that beam support system, that's not one continuous piece. That's a piece that was built, put together.
And laminated together.
And laminated to go up there. So it's an amazing piece of work.
Oh yeah.
I think the key to all of it is you had a vision. You got a vision for what it can be. You're passionate about it, and then you're putting a lot of hard work and time and effort into helping that vision come to fruition. And to me, that's what Douglasville's about, is having that passion, having that vision, and being able to see what it can be. You've got the vision, you've got the passion, and I'd like to play back up on this and us come back and see what comes to be from that vision, that passion, and that hard work, because that's what it's all about, and that's what our community's about. And I want to applaud you and thank you for having the vision and the passion to help make it happen, because that's what it takes. So I applaud you, I thank you personally, and I thank you for the city of Douglasville for doing that and contributing. And I can't wait to come back and see what it's going to look like. So thank you very much.
Thank you, appreciate it.